Welcome back to Robot Wars, and we're already halfway through the series. And the only seeded machine so far to make the semis is the third seed, Endgame. We've also got two newcomers in the semis to add fresh bolts, plus some other veterans who have improved a lot since the last wars. And we're about to kick off again, so let's check out the brackets and see how it looks. In today's heat, 13th seeds Diotoir hoping to take a crack out of Crush Station and Diotoir. Puncher home to slam both Pussycat and Dodge Me out of the competition. But first up, M2 the 12th seed against Cobra and Buzzy Bee. M2 Flipper. Back again after being battered by Endgame in the last wars, as well as one of the quickest Death or Glory fights we'd ever seen. The Flipper is still very powerful and still lots of experience from live events, but the armor is still not very strong and the ground clearance at the back is a bit high. Buzzy Bee. Rambot. A very big machine that can drive both ways up and attack with the wedges at either end. The ground clearance is variable as the machine's built like a seesaw, which may prove to be a tricky bot to knock out, as well as tricky for the team to be able to do anything effective. Cobra. Control Bot. Like many Cobras, this one is very dangerous and not one you want to take off. The fangs coming out of its mouth are used to clamp down on its prey to drag it about wherever it wants, but it's not really effective if the machine is up and over, or if the weapon has been detached. Although if that is the case, then the machine can drive upside down.
Robot ears, stand by.
M2 with the CO2 powered flipper, Buzzy Bee, a very unique design, Buzzy Bee actually, and Cobra, the control bot with the fangs.
3, 2, 1.
So how will this run? Well, ooh, wasn't expecting Cobra to come slamming. Well, that's Buzzy Bee gone. Look at this, they've ramped up the side of Cobra, and they've parked themselves on their side. And that's it for Buzzy Bee. They cannot right themselves to being counted out. They're out now at the arena. And that's a great flip from M2. We saw them do it before in the last wars to Antlion and Combust. And they've done it again to Buzzy Bee effortlessly. Now on the attack on Cobra. Will they flip Cobra? Yes, they will. Flips Cobra up and over. And this will be the end of Cobra, it seems. Especially with M2 in the game, the 12th seed. Up and out they go. And that's Cobra eliminated into the Silver Rumble. Buzzy Bee heads off into the Bronze, and M2 once again into the Gold Rumble. Fast and efficient from M2, no surprise there. Next up, it's Punjar, Pussycat, and our veterans, Dodge Me. Punjar. Rambot. A classic machine from way back in the day of the original BattleBot series like Biohazard, Gnome 2, and the middleweight Complete Control who's in the next heat. Spoilers. Armed with a front shovel to slam everyone into walls and down the pit, but there's no self-righting mechanism and the turning is not all that great. Pussycat. Spinner. Works a bit like an actual cat, as it always lands on its feet whenever it's flipped and rips its food apart with its custom-made blade. And like a cat, it's also very fast when chasing its prey. But unlike a cat, however, it can be seriously crippled if it loses one of its exposed wheels. Dodge Me. Spinner. They had a horrible run on the last wars with Big Spinner. Now they're back with a total rebuild and a smaller one at that. The front blade is still the key area of it, as it's quite big compared to most of the spinners in this series, as is the exposed electronics from the top polycarbonate panel.
Robot ears, stand by.
Punjar, the Rambot Pussycat with the custom-built blade, and Dodge Me. Are they new and improved from last year, I wonder?
2, 1.
Oh, and they move! Good. Good. Big Spinner didn't move at all. Pussycats stuck on their side. Punjar slamming into the side of Dodge Me, who give chase to Punjar, who are seemingly pushing Pussycat into the arena wall, and there an attack on Pussycat from Dodge Me. Now, what can Pussycat do? How will Pussycat get out of there? Punjar hitting the pit release button, and Pussycat's gone! Where did Pussycat go? They're at the arena! And Punjar's gone now! Well, they're definitely improved! What a victory! Look at this! Out goes Pussycat! And then, boom! Hits the side of Punjar, and they're gone! What an improved machine! Holy! I think this machine is the most improved machine so far this series. Next up, 13 seeds Diotoir, then Tomkia, and Crustacean. Diotoir. Spinner. Back again after a surprising performance last time. The blade is now meant to be stronger than last time, but it does still have the same issue of getting stuck on its own face and not being able to get back and down without assistance. Dan Tomkia. Flipper. A CO2-powered flipper with an adjustable ground clearance by going onto their back and adding 2 spikes to their arsenal. The armor is very tough, so getting through it is going to be a challenge, but there is a limited gas supply on board, like all flippers, and the safety link isn't exactly all that safe. Crustacean. Crusher. A vicious little crab with a very unique weapon. 2 front crushing claws that activate from the operator closing their hands while wearing special gloves. Not ever seen something like that before. The machine can also drive both ways up, making flipping it pointless, but in terms of drive, the handling is a bit lacking.
Roboteers, stand by.
Diotoir with the spinning blade, Dan Tomkia with the CO2 flipper, and Crustacean with the unique claws.
3, 2, 1.
Who will come out on top here? Dan Tomkia immediately rushing into Diotoir, the 13th seed, and they know how dangerous that flipper is, the spinning blade is, so they've got to deal with that quick. Crustacean slamming into the wall for some reason. Diotoir flipped up and over by Dan Tomkia. And now everyone seems to be doing their own little thing. Crustacean, I think, trying to stay out of harm's reach, while Diotoir's flipped up and over. Again by Dan Tomkia. Crustacean trying to do some damage to Dan Tomkia if they're able to. Is Diotoir okay? They don't seem as quick. Down goes the pit, so someone will end up down there. I think there's a problem with Diotoir. Meanwhile, Crustacean and Dan Tomkia having their own little battle, and they're gonna tackle onto the claw of Crustacean. Now, how will Dan Tomkia? There, a flip, and Diotoir remaining stationary. I don't think there's any life in Diotoir. They're being counted out. 3, 2, 1, they're gone. Out go the 13th seeds into the Bronze Rumble. And meanwhile, Dan Tomkia wasting the CO2 here, flipping Crustacean. There's no point. Crustacean can drive both ways up. Now, if you can get them against the wall and throw them out the arena, that'll be something. No, throw them out the arena, not on top of yourself, you idiot. I'm sorry. But, look, are you just dancing around each other? What is going on? Crustacean coming in with the claw, hoping to do some form of damage. Dan Tomkia is not really phased, like, at all. Dan Tomkia flipping Crustacean again. And again. And, oh, almost that time. This isn't exactly all that fun to watch, guys. This is kind of dull and boring. Crustacean running away. Dan Tomkia again with the flip. They're just spinning around each other. It's like, what's the best way to get at them? Let's do spinning around and then see what happens. Well, it sort of worked, I think, for Dan Tomkia. They've flipped them and pinned them against the corner, flipped them over. I mean, if this goes to the judges, that will go in favor for Dan Tomkia, who are now stuck on top of the angle grinder. They can't get off. Crustacean rights them. Diotoir's long been forgotten. Crustacean holding Dan Tomkia. Is there life left? There is still some life left in Dantomkia. Crustacean. If this does go to the judges, they'll be marking on style, control, damage, and aggression. And I'll tell you what, this will be a very close call between Dantomkia and Crustacean. Crustacean flipped again from Dantomkia. They're stuck in the corner though, and now Diotoir are flipping themselves up and over. They've righted themselves, but they're stuck on the wall. And I think there is issue here for Crustacean's drive. They're pushing them, but they've clipped the pit, and down they go. And that is such a shame. As Diotoir catch themselves on the pit. Look at this, the charge from Crustacean. Oh, I think they just fell too much weight. And they're in the pit now. They're on fire as well. And Diotoir, I don't know what their flipper's trying to do. Cease is called. Diotoir through to the gold rumble. Crustacean will be through to the silver. Poor old Diotoir. They'll be in the bronze. I think Diotoir is trying to write themselves out. There's no point because you're running out of CO2. And right now, I think you're out of it. Crustacean, you've got a lot of repairs to do. So does Diotoir. What happened to them? Whatever it was that caused them to crash out earlier than anticipated, they're in the bronze. Crustacean sailing in the silver, Diotoir in the gold. And this is how our three rumbles look. M2 the 12th seed against Dodge Me and Diotoir for gold. Cobra, Punja, Crustacean for silver. But first, it's the bronze rumble with Buzzy Bee, Pussycat, and the 13 seeds, Diotoir.
Robot ears, stand by.
The bronze rumble with Buzzy Bee, Pussycat, and the 13th seeds, Diotoir.
3.
Wonder if Diotoir's fixed the problems they experienced in the last fight. I think there was battery issues. Well, they're rushing out to the floor now. They've gone up and over. Pussycat stuck on their hind legs, as it were, as they've been pressurized by Buzzy Bee. I like how Buzzy Bee's designed. I really do like it. Buzzy Bee releasing the pit. And well, Diotoir, they're Diotoir, you're well, they can't move. They are pretty much they're gone now in the pit. Poor Diotoir, what on earth happened there? And more to the point, what's happened here to Buzzy Bee now? So they came in and they've wedged themselves, they've rammed up the wall, and they've trapped themselves. And that's good timing for Pussycat to come in and do some damage. Now, Pussycat freeing Buzzy Bee. And I'm wondering if the judges will rule that Buzzy Bee were immobilized, or if, well, it is a question, really. Were they truly immobilized? Or not? Buzzy Bee, oh, they've gone down again now. This time on the angle grinder. Pussycat, the blade, not really as effective. And Pussycat once again freeing Buzzy Bee. I think Buzzy Bee's just seriously. The one downside to the design of Buzzy Bee, like I said, I like it. It's a nice seesaw effect. It's really neat, it's really cool. But the one downside is, because of how tall the bot is, they can get stuck on the walls. They can beach themselves on it and trap themselves so they can't really be as effective as they could be. Although, it's supposed to be like a wedge. It's less of a wedge, more like a pushing seesaw. But it is very effective as they're coming in on Pussycat towards the pit, and Pussycat, down they go! And it's Buzzy Bee through to the death or glory. And now Buzzy Bee joins them all in a bit of oblivion.
Cease.
Well done to Buzzy Bee to go through to the Death or Glory. I like this design. I'd like to see it go far. Oh, they're out of the pit now. And spinning in the lights. As they progress through, commiserations to Pussycat and Diotoir. We hope to see them again next time. And Buzzy Bee also in very strong contention for the most original entry nomination later on in the series. Right now they're through to the Death or Glory and they have to prepare for that. Next up is the Silver Rumble with Cobra, Crustacean, and Punjar.
Robot ears, stand by.
Cobra, the Control Bot, Punjar, the Ram Bot, and Crustacean, the Crusher. Or Control Bot. It's something. I don't know. Anyway, here comes Cobra, just driving around everyone. Crustacean getting a grip on Punjar. Now Cobra chimes in on that as well. Punjar can ram into Crustacean and definitely seems to have the stronger power. And down goes the pit. They've knocked the tire off. That's gonna happen every time throughout the series, I feel. And now Punjar, oh, Cobra nearly went down the pit. Punjar now slamming Crustacean into the arena wall. And Cobra trying to get some form of... Well, I don't know what Cobra can really do, really. They can do this, however, they can push Punjar into the pit. Oh, Crustacean! They've spun out of there in the pit! They're gone! Well, I could have sworn Crustacean would go through, but no! Look at this! Down goes Punjar! And Crustacean turned too sharply and sinks into the pit! And it's Cobra through to the Death or Glory! Talk about your shocking upsets! I thought Crustacean could have gone through, or maybe even Punjar, but nope! It's Cobra going through to the Death or Glory. Well done to them! Next up in the Gold Rumble, 12 seeds M2, the vastly improved machine Dodge Me compared to Big Spin in the last wars, and the newcomers Dan Tomkia.
Robot ears, stand by.
The Gold Rumble with 12 seeds M2, Dodge Me, and Dan Tomkia. This will be interesting.
3, 2, 1.
Dodge Me was very impressive. Dan Tomkia throwing M2 up and over. And roly-poly, Dodge Me coming in now to deal some damage to Dan Tomkia. And Dodge Me, oh, what is this? They've got out the arena! And so Dan Tomkia! And that's the quickest! I think that's the quickest Gold Rumble ever! Look at this! Dodge Me pings off, and as they're pinging off, M2 takes the advantage and throws Dan Tomkia out! Wow! Definitely a benchmark for the series so far of quickest fights. M2 through to the Heat Final. This is our Death or Glory lineup. Buzzy Bee, Cobra, Dodge Me, and Dan Tomkia. One of these machines will be going through to fight M2. Let's see who goes through.
Robot ears, stand by.
Here we go, our Death or Glory with Buzzy Bee, Cobra, Dodge Me, and Dan Tomkia.
3, 2, 1.
So who will be stronger? Dan Tomkia coming in, and Cobra, they've already lost a weapon! Dodge Me, now stuck in the corner! Buzzy Bee comes in to, I think, give a helping hand. Cobra flung by Dan Tomkia. Meanwhile, what's happening to Dodge Me? Look at this again! Dodge Me! They hit the top of Buzzy Bee, and they've gone out! So, Dodge me out the arena courtesy of Buzzy B, essentially. That is incredible. Cobra in trouble. Poor Cobra. Dan Tonkia giving them a little flip. Buzzy B trying to show, oi, I'm in this fight. You can mess with me if you want. And Dan Tonkia throwing themselves over, and they are very lucky not to have gone out of... Actually, they're lucky to have not ended up in the pit. I don't think they could end up out the arena. Meanwhile, Buzzy... Oh, right across the pit! How on earth did they survive that? Well, we'll figure that out later. Meanwhile, Buzzy B stuck on the wall. And I think that's it. Oh! Well, I said before they couldn't get themselves out of the arena. Quite clearly, I'm wrong. They flipped themselves. And that is... I absolutely love it. That is insane. Cobra has long been since forgotten in the corner, on fire. Buzzy B now free thanks to the blade of Dodge Me. Nearly in the pit. What is this Death or Glory? It's insane. Dodge Me, I think, are back in the arena, and they're throwing themselves back out. Like, nah, I'm out. Bye. Without a doubt, what was this Death or Glory? Buzzy B in the pit. Dan Tonkia through. Let's put it that way. That was probably the best Death or Glory so far this series. Dan Tonkia, confirmation they're through to the Heat Final to face our 12th seeds, M2. Now give me a minute while I try and get over that Death or Glory.
Robot ears, stand by.
The Heat Final, the 12th seeds, M2 with the CO2 flipper against the newcomers Dan Tonkia with their own CO2 flipper.
2, 1.
It's all about the ground clearance. Who can get underneath the other person first, well, the other bot first. And right now they're just giving each other a bit of a merry dance. Now, Dan Tonkia will do that wheelie stunt, which will cause them problems, and M2 will throw them into the air. They will quickly self-right though, Dan Tonkia, and then come back on the attack and throw M2 out. And that's the end of M2. Well done, Dan Tonkia, through the series semi-finals. Our third newcomers into the semi-finals. Well done, Dan Tonkia, and well-deserved spin of celebration for throwing out M2. Well-deserved. A fantastic display from Dan Tonkia as they get their revenge on M2 and pick up a spot in the semi-finals. They joined Siege, Endgame, Choking Hazard, Bigger Brother, Earthquake, and Angry in the semis. And only 5 more machines can join them. But until then, take care, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.